Hi, everybody. Um, Welcome to my channel about, I can't help but I laugh, about vlogging about my own impending death. Um, it just seems funny sometimes to do, but I'm sharing it because I want to, because I hope it will help somebody. Something I say will, just help somebody along the way. That's really my whole aim. And for myself to just sort of check in with me and see where I'm at and what's going on for myself. And today I would characterize today as, I would call it a mixed bag. And I was just thinking before I pressed the start button that that's what life is, isn't it? It's just a mixed bag. It's fun. It's dull. It's exciting. It's boring. It's happy. It's sad. It's everything. It's just a mixed bag, and that's what life is. And because everything is always changing, nothing and no one stays the same, and that's, I think, personally, I find that to be good news. Uh, Partly because, no matter how bad things get, they'll stop being that bad. They may not get great, but they'll stop being that bad. They will. They always do. 70 years of experience of my life. And believe me, I have had some really bad days and times, not just days, and that I thought would never, ever, ever come to an end. And they did. And they did. And slowly but surely throughout my life, I learned to just stick with it, stick with life, and it will get better, and then it'll get worse again. It'll come together, and then it'll fall apart. Because one of the things, like I said, I've learned is that's just how it is. You know, in my younger days, not even that much younger, not that many years ago, I fought like tooth and nail to keep things good, to keep things the way I wanted them to be, to keep things the way I was comfortable with them being, whether that was in my job, in a relationship, in friendships, so on and so forth. But it never seemed to work out. It never stayed exactly like I wanted it to be. It always changed, and I took that to mean that I was doing something wrong, because everybody else out there, for the most part, I thought everybody else had it together. Their lives were as smooth as could be. They went from success to success, win to win, and not me. And I really did for many years just believe it was because I lacked something. And the trouble was, I didn't know what I lacked. I really didn't have a clue. I thought it was this, so I worked on that. I thought it was that, so I worked on that. This, whatever. And no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get life to just behave as I wanted it to. I laugh now at it, but it wasn't funny when that's how I lived my life, and I did. And it's a very difficult way to live. Always wanting life to be, and I don't mean in it that I wanted selfish things, generally speaking. That's not what I mean. I wanted things, I wanted things at work to be fair and to be just. That's what I wanted. I wanted things to work well, and when they didn't, I just couldn't. I didn't understand why is this not going right? You know, I'm doing the best I think I'm doing the best I can, but apparently I'm not. This was my thinking. But everybody else seemed to be okay. Um, Same with relationships. I see other people in relationships, and I always seemed that they all got along pretty well, or whatever, or they were still together, whatever that meant. And I couldn't seem to do that. Um, so obviously, I was lacking something. Finally, what I learned, and I'm so grateful, is that no, I don't lack something, or maybe I lack knowledge of something or other, but I personally am not lacking, because nobody gets to have life to be exactly what they want it to be all the time. Gets the job that they want, and it goes great forever. The relationship they want, smooth sailing. You know, the house, perfect, beautiful, impeccable. Um, the friends, couldn't be better. Everybody got along so great. That's just that's Hollywood nonsense, is what that is. And Hollywood has sold us all a bill of goods. Well, we all know that, I hope, by now. But I bought it for many years. I used to watch the shows when I was a kid, like Ozzie and Harriet, Leave It to Beaver, and their parents were so nice and so reasonable, and would sit down and talk to their kids and never yell at them. And if they were angry at their kids, they would explain it and talk to them and listen to the kids. I didn't have a life like that when I was growing up. And again, I thought, well, I lucked out. I ran out of luck, or I didn't have luck, because that's not how my reality was at all. But I really did think everybody else's was. Maybe some of my neighbors, I knew things weren't that great, but I just didn't understand. Human life on this planet, which is the only one I know of at this point, this is life. This is life. And it's okay. The ups and downs are okay. The ins and outs, ups and downs, the hard times, you know, we just label them. I label them. I used to label them all. These were bad and these were good. And if it wasn't always good, then something I was doing was causing it to be bad. And sometimes that was true. Occasionally, we all do things that aren't skillful, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I just now I see life more in terms of the reality. Let's just put it that way. So today was one of those reality days. I got up in the morning and I felt not terrible. I usually feel pretty terrible in the mornings, really rough. But I woke up and I had slept enough, and I was feeling not great, but not terrible. Got up, had breakfast, got washed up, did my meditation, and then a friend of mine was going to drive me to Trader Joe's, which is about 6-7 blocks from here, which normally I would have to walk or take a bus. So she had offered to give me a ride, so I thought that would probably be very helpful. I'm going to have to learn to let other people help me, and I am not good at that. Not good for asking for it, and I'm not good for accepting it. But it is something, when you're dying, from everything I've learned and know, you've got to be open to it. You've got to really be open to it. So I'm trying to do that. So my friend, my neighbor, drove me down to Trader Joe's. And she actually parked and came in and bought a couple things. And then after that, we walked down to the Reading Terminal Market, which in Philadelphia is this grand market. It's just a wonderful place with all sorts of fresh fruits, vegetables, butcher shops, fishmongers, but also, prepared foods and sandwiches and pizza and all kinds of stuff. So it's a really wonderful place. It's been there, I think, 145 years, close to that at least. And anyway, we walked down there, and then we walked back. It was just a block and a half each way to get her car, and she drove me home. And I'll tell you what, I'm grateful. I don't think that's going to work out for me. I have to be honest, because it was just kind of almost easier just to go on my own and get my stuff and come home. I take the bus home no matter what now. I just can't do the walking both ways. And that's just been within the last month. And I know that it's going to come soon that I can't walk either way. So I'll have to take the bus. And then it's going to come where I won't be able to take the bus. See, I'm trying to think ahead and practice. Anyway, so, Anyway, by the time we got done and I got back, I was exhausted. Even with getting driven there and back, I was still utterly exhausted. I ate some lunch and then I laid down and I did sleep for a little bit and woke up and I felt better. So that's, so I'd say that's good, I'm not going to be running the marathon, and I'm not going out dancing tonight on a Friday night, but it's been at least 14, 15 years since I've done that anyway. And I get short of breath talking sometimes. So that was today. And one thing I am looking forward to, I hate to say this, but when I saw the palliative care doctor, she increased my pain medication just by 5 milligrams because I'm in pain all the time. And, it's just, I'd like to just be in less pain. I know I'm not going to be out of pain, and I don't necessarily need to be out of pain because I want to be awake and, alert, so on. But, the level of pain has gone up to the point where it's always, and it's wears me down even more, makes me more tired. So, this is all a learning process. I was listening to somebody's vlog, and they talked about, it was from a death doula, and she was talking about, and I feel the same way, that I've never done this before. I've never died before. I've never actually died. Come very close, and those were, instantaneous things, emergency type of things. But I've never done this dwindle to where I'm just and going to be out the door. So I don't know quite how to do it, and I'm going to be learning as I go, and I'm probably going to make mistakes, and I know being stubborn for wanting to do everything the way I want to do it is going to be a roadblock, might be a roadblock for me. So I've got to learn to let loose and let go of some control, which I'm not really in anyway. That's another illusion that I carry around, that I'm in control. It's kind of funny. But now I can laugh about this stuff because I know I'm not in control. I know life isn't going to go exactly like I want it to. I know all the, everything changes. These things I know to for sure. And I'm glad of them all. I'm glad I'm not totally in charge of everything. Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay. I can always tell now when it's getting toward the end of talking I'm getting out of breath and I'm kind of babbling. And anybody who's watching, thank you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, I really do. Leave any comments that you might like to. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you want to. Subscribe if you will, if you want to. And again, I hope this in some way, something I've said, some way, somehow, just rings a bell. Because these ring bells for me and have helped me. So, and, you know, I ask your good thoughts for me. See, that's hard for me to do, believe it or not. But I ask your good thoughts for me to have the strength and the courage to do what I'm doing. Okay? Good night, all. And yeah, I keep you all in my heart. Even if there's only one or two of you, however many, doesn't matter. Good night.